Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, on a Saturday I often look for a map that's just a little bit different from the norm, and this week we have absolutely got it. It's 100% vanilla, kinda. You'll see, we'll get to that. Do you know what, we're going to save that right to the very end. I think we'll do that. 100% vanilla, so if you are a vanilla player, I think you're probably going to like today's map. Probably. It's a creator we have done once in the past, episode 221, so over 1,000 episodes ago. They got 12 stars, including a whopping 5 stars for gameplay potential. Let's hope they can do just as well with this one. It's got lots of pleasing aspects to it. Also pleasing is playing a little game of BonBonBingo, tick off the memes as we go along, and of course you've got to keep me pleased, and the best way of doing that is by remembering that we have a daily reminder. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Tonofanfare by bagfacekillah. Yes, remember A Hole by the Coast? Episode 221, A Hole by the Coast. What a great name for a map. It's your start square. It's interesting. Interesting shapes. Very interesting. Terrain heights. Yeah, including some kind of like creature on the right. Resources are interesting on one half of the map and really not very interesting on the other. And then if you have Sunset Harbour, your fishing map will look like this. Off to the workshop. Well, DLC? Do we need DLC? No DLC required today. And being 100% vanilla, no anything required today. We'll actually be using the vanilla temperate theme and the realistic 1.2 LUT. The description is a complete load of hogwash. Why not? I don't mind a bit of hogwash. Thank you very much. It means absolutely nothing. It's just a little bit of fiction, and I read it from start to finish thinking, this is brilliant. This is just brilliant. Okay? And it's short enough. It's like one of those short stories you go, I ain't got time to read a novel tonight. What have we got? Oh, this is only 2.5 pages. We'll read this. Yeah. Nice little bridge. Like that. Yes, so it's one of the, it's a post-apocalyptic world. It's the third coming of man, and we've now got tech of about modern day standards. So therefore we can build a city and reclaim, a nice little bridge there, reclaim the environment to be ours again. It means that things like all these craters and all this radioactive desert that we have, yeah, it explains all of that, and it's just a little bit of a fantasy build, and it's a fantasy map, and it's a little bit of fun, and we just don't have enough fun these days. It's all so serious. It's all got to have finely polished curves, and you know, no jinky jankies or wibbly wobblies. And to be fair, there aren't really any jinky jankies. No blue mantle either there. I was certain there was going to be blue mantle under there. So yes, yeah, it's a decent quality map. There are one or two things to grumble about later on. And again, no blue mantle under there either. So yes, it's one of those maps where there are a few little things to gripe about. But there's also loads of stuff to rejoice as well, although maybe not polished to the highest standard. Plenty of little things in today's map that I think if you're going to come along and want to polish the map up, you can. And if you just want to have just a crazy build on it, you can do that. It's one of those maps, it doesn't matter if you have a messy city. You know, there's always that city that you just want to build on the quick, and you're not that worried about the detailing. This is this kind of map for that, because you can be creative without having to worry about having everything absolutely on point. There are plenty of potential start locations. We'll have a look at the start square at the end, but if we just take a glance at the intersections, this one here, There's like a potential start location off in the top left there. It's just kind of squidged behind the hill. I'd like it more centered, but it's fine. It's fine. And if anybody spotted anything, yes, I did as well. We're saving that to the end of the show. I did tell you we'd be saving that to the end of the show. So if anybody spotted anything and you think I've missed it, I haven't. I haven't. Okay, next intersection like that with another little tongue sticking out. Both directions, the tongue's there. And again, this isn't the start square. This is just a potential start location. The intersections is not swooping, sweeping. Without being the most polished thing in the world, they're also not bad. So we should be quite pleased with what we've got, yeah? Nice little bit of detailing around the pillars there and a swoop about here. I think this is the start square one. I think. I'm losing track of where we are on the map. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's the start square intersection right there. And then we can sweep this way and sweep that way and another potential start right there. But it's one of these where you can just like dot wherever you like. The highways split and then come back together, and this winding loop of spaghetti on the south side as we're looking at it, that's just so that traffic can turn back, and it works quite neatly. And it can turn back in both directions as well, for that matter. Again, following the roads off, and now we're going to have a long period of the roads being tiered, and it's done again to a decent standard without being the very top standard. It's a good enough standard, and then we have this. Some terrain that is glitching right up high, and it's just being sliced through by the elevated road. It's one of those that I think if we deleted those roads, we'd end up with like a mini mountain in the way. I'm not going to delete the roads. I don't care enough. But yeah, that probably, technically speaking, is the worst thing with the entire map. Probably. There are going to be things that maybe you don't like also, but I don't think there's anything as bad as that. Again, how to fix that? Get the smoothing tool, quickly run it across, and Bob's your auntie. Or Roberta's your auntie, I guess. Although Bob can be your auntie these days. We're not going to judge. Bob can associate as anything Bob wants to associate as. It's perfectly fine. If Bob wants to be your auntie, that's fine. We have an elevated ground level road going through the valley here, which is causing a bit of glitching along either side. We are technically out the 25 tiles, so who's going to spot it? Probably nobody if you're playing base game rules. What about the rail? Well, we have the double rail line, and the double rail line is fine on the whole. On the whole, even with this being a fantasy map, most of this rail line, you'll look at it and you go, you know, that's realistic enough for me. I can deal with that. And I'd agree. Apart from one little bit, which will be very evident when we get to it. It's not the most horrendous. It is not the most horrendous bit of not perfectly flat rail. But it is noticeable and notable by the fact that it is so different from every other bit of rail on the map. And it's only so it can transition from a lower plateau to a higher plateau. I think we can live with it. Again, it's another one that it's a fantasy map. Do we really care? I know there's always one of you that will, but does it really matter that much on a map like this for that one small section? I mean, it's a shame we didn't have a smoother route up there. I'm sure, given a few more minutes, the creator could have found a way of doing it, and I'm sure maybe you will if you decide to take this map on for your own city build. Following the rail around, little over the river section here. This is very sweet, I've got to say, very sweet and very neat, and very tidily done. And slight rock clipping through the underside of the rail bridge there. Again, won't affect anything. It's just an aesthetic thing. Depending on how much you care is how much you would have that affect your score at the end. It will affect the score, but for me, it's not as bad as the trees in the water cutting through the underside of the rail. I think that's a little bit worse. Although, I don't think a train would think so if it suddenly hit that. Okay, still following the rail, looking for this little stretch, and it's coming up here. The next thing Yeah, where we're changing from lower to upper section. This is it. That one section. It's a bit clunky. It could just be tapered out a little bit more than it has been. But again, I can live with it. On a map like this, it's fine. It's not the map's biggest problem. That problem will be coming up a little bit later on in the show. It is a bit of a killer. I think there's some blue mantle here. A little bit of blue mantle underneath that one. Tiny splash of it. Yeah, again. Shall we let it go? We'll let it go. What we'll do is we'll let it go. We'll take an intermission in a few moments' time. When we come back, we'll check out for the shipping, because there is shipping. We'll check out for the water flow, because there may or may not be water flow on today's map. I'm not telling you in advance. What's the point? And then I'll say we'll just start winding down and get ready for tomorrow's chart show, shall we? Chart show. Do you know what? That's the one show that I wish people would watch more. I think it's key. Should be watching old episodes on like just a loop. It just so much good stuff on the workshop. Anyway, we made the edge of the map, so we'll take that intermission.
Who is the mysterious modder? Perhaps the greatest modder of them all. Why the heck are they named after a flightless bird? Find out more when BonBonB met Bloody Penguin and Skylines talk now.
And back to Tonofanfare by bagfacekillah. And those shipping routes. Shipping triangle there. Very nice. That's going to take us all the way up this river. Under the big old bridge. It's not a huge bridge, but it's a big enough bridge. It loops around this central island little cluster that we have by the start square, which is very nice. And then we can head back down to that little shipping triangle and maybe take a left or a right. Take a right. And then we can go up this river. And this river is fine. We've got nothing going cross country, which is always a bit of a risk, I feel, with a map like this. But no, nothing like that at all. A little shipping triangle that doesn't go anywhere there. Obviously, they changed their mind at the last minute. And off the edge of the map. Now, water flow actually looks like it's going to be good, and then it just becomes nothing. In the start square, we have no water motion at all. Now, if you're looking to pump your water into a river without polluting the subjects, you actually get this little corner here, literally just the end of that. So you get a sewage outflow there, it'll take it down into this river and pump it out into the sea, bypassing your city centre. So it could work, just about. I haven't tested it, but it could work. Okay, right, so fantasy map, we've got all this desert, post-apocalyptic, big nuclear bombs and everything. And we've got some really odd shaped, fantastical shaped craters, and there's a six-pack in the landscape there as well. Anyway, yeah, so we've got a crater here. We've got another deep crater here. Hello. Echo, echo, echo. This one's like a pimple. And then we've got a couple over there that look like sort of like Aztec boobies, maybe. Oh, why not? Then some interesting shapes and landscape over here. We've got some desert over here with some small mountains. And then over here, I don't think it was a nuclear bomb. I think there was this paradoxical creature that consumed everything. And that's what's left of him now, all these eons later. Yes. It looks colossal. And I would say, yes, beware the paradoxical creature. Then over here, we've got these little islands. Sand textures in vanilla are always going to be cruddy, sadly, but the beaches aren't too bad on the whole. Rock detailing along here just looks like the spine of a creature as well. I think that works quite neatly. And then this spiky island down here, which has the essential lighthouse. Isn't she lovely? A little lighthouse keeper's cottage there, and a pier as well. A little bit of water glitching in there, always likely to happen when you've got vanilla rocks. Have we got anything else we need to check out? I think we can just head back towards the start square now. So it all goes on in this area over here, lots of buildable space over here, lots of interesting shaped islands, including this cluster of islands in the middle of the map, which is their good stuff, right? Okay. And then somewhere down here should be our asset of the day, the quirky one. It's not really quirky today though, it's just different. It's a prop. It's the scaffolding props by Smilies. And so, yeah, if you want, when your buildings are starting to rebuild and stuff and you get these scaffolds pop up and then animate down, what if you just want them there permanently? Perfect work here from Smilies. Absolutely perfect. I just don't know what to say. They are just the creator of the moment, aren't they? They just are. So much great stuff from them. And I don't know where they get it all from. Imagination, brain. They've got brain. They've got a bigger brain than me. Factoids because factoids. Here's what I didn't know. Because their eyeballs are fixed, whales have to move their whole body in order to shift their line of vision. I did not know that. Now I do. But yes, beady-eyed whales. Never trust a whale. Where'd you weigh a whale? In a whaleway station, that's correct. Okay, right. Scaffolding props by Smilies. Great set of things here. Links in the description, as always. Along with the link to today's map. So yes, Tonofanfare by bagfacekillah. You've seen it, but how do you rate it? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We'll use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen or the link in the description. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple or a Patreon account. But what do I think of it? Well, aesthetically, do you know what? I think it works. It's a bit clunky. It is a little bit clunky, but I do like the overall vision. I like the overall design. I don't think I can rate it super high, but I think it just, based on design alone, we squeeze it into 4 stars. Just. Detailing, there's not too much wrong with it. There's quite a lot of very interesting stuff on there, but nothing that really, truly shines. So I'm going to give it 3 stars, but we'll go slightly above middle 3. Gameplay potential. Here's the thing. I want to rate this really nicely. Sadly, network extensions to 2-lane highways have been used on a couple of those intersections, and therefore I have no option but to give it 1 star because network extensions 2 isn't vanilla, it's not listed as a requirement, and if you try and load this map up without it, your map will be very broken. Tonofanfare by bagfacekillah. Gone from 5 stars for gameplay on the last map that I've reviewed to 1 star for gameplay on this one that I've reviewed. They have made a few maps in between which we haven't looked at. Maybe we should, because clearly they have a vision. A man or woman or goat. I just don't know what to do these days. I'm completely beat. Your chance to use the words of the day into the comments and score yourself some population points just for fun to prove you're part of the 20 and out elite. And I'll be back tomorrow with the chart show. Have a great evening.